Okay, let's get to the Iran situation. I'm done talking about that dude. Let's talk about Iran. Let's see. Since the last time, I've been out for basically a week or whatever, I feel like. So, we're basically just back in a hot war at this point. Iran struck a couple ships that were going through the unapproved routes. As I've shown people multiple times, the MOU clearly states that Iran is the one deciding, like the security arrangements of the strait during this memorandum of understanding. So they are enforcing their security or their power over the strait by shooting ships that are going through this illegal route. Now, Trump and the UN are trying to send these ships through this illegal route because they're trying to claw back some form of like victory that they did not win on the battlefield, right? Iran clearly won on the battlefield, and America is lost, and because of that loss was forced to sign the memorandum of understanding in order to get the oil markets to stabilize, because as Trump said, we were weeks away from collapse, basically, from economic collapse, and so that's what happened. America signed the memorandum of understanding, but they still don't want to recognize that they've lost, so they're doing everything they can to try to claw back some form of victory. And the problem that America finds itself in is that it's just not possible, man. You already lost. There's nothing you can do. You tried everything. The only thing you didn't try, and I've said this from the beginning as well, is an actual ground occupation, which is what you would need to do if you wanted to even have a chance of changing the trajectory of this conflict. But I don't think Donald Trump has the cojones to do it. I don't think that I think he's just too scared of troops dying and coming back in body bags. I just think he's too scared of that. So round and round we go. The merry-go-round of Donald Trump's wars, where we live in a purgatorial cycle of hell, where America tries to claw back some form of victory. Iran, disciplines them with strikes, and then America goes back into the cycle of full-fledged hostilities, which is basically where we are now, where America is striking Iran just as much as they were during the hot war, and Iran is striking back about the same as they were during the hot war. So let's go ahead and watch this Fox News video. Let's see what's going on. Apparently, Iran even struck Jordan this time, which I think is the first time that I've heard about that, but I'm not 100% sure. So let's go and see what's going on from the Fox News perspective.
Josh, also breaking at this hour, the U.S. launching its second round of strikes in 24 hours in response to Iran firing on ships in the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. forces hit approximately 90 Iranian targets, and Tehran responding by firing on American allies across the region. The back-and-forth attacks coming just weeks after a hard-fought deal to end this war. President Trump renewing his threat to, quote, finish the job.
We just hit them very hard, and I say we hit them 20-1. Every time they hit us, we're going to hit them 20. And we did it last night. They did a little something today, but it was really retribution for last night. They hit actually 3 boats, not 2. And when they hit...
Here's the problem. If you're going to hit them 20-1, it's the same fucking problem you had before. It's the same problem. Like, how many times do we have to go through this shit, man? You're going to run out of missiles. You're going to run out of interceptors. We used half of them in 6 weeks of war. Half of them. We make like 100 a year. We went through like 500 or something, like, what are you talking about? This is impossible. So now they're out there hitting the exact same targets that they hit before, just going back and just rebombing the same thing over and over again to try to feel busy and feel like they're doing something and to feel like they're actually impacting the war when it's not doing fucking shit. It's not going to do anything. Nothing will change strategically. Iran is going to eventually close the Strait of Hormuz again, and then the whatever 100 or 200 ships that got out can, I guess, slowly make their way across the ocean to refill some stockpiles. Okay, cool. And then we're in the exact same situation. Like, America is so low on its strategic oil reserves right now. Like, it is, like, it's getting bad, man. Like, they're getting almost to the critical level. And like I said, some of these ships that made it out might be able to make a small dent in that, but they were only going through it for like a week or something, you know? Like actually, like, up to, not even up to normal capacity, but up to like 60 or 70% capacity of what they used to do. So there's nothing that can change, man. This isn't going to change anything. It's just a waste. It's a waste of our tax dollars. It's a waste of fucking time. I'm just getting so tired of it, man.
We hit back much harder.
Mike Tobin is reporting live out of Tel Aviv for us right now. Mike?
And Sandra, Iran has been firing at its neighbors. For the first time in this round of fighting, hostile aircraft have entered Jordanian airspace. The Jordanians say they shot down some 8 missiles. U.S. Embassy staff there was ordered to shelter in place. No injuries. The U.S. hit multiple targets, including bridges on rail lines that the U.S. says were used by Iran to transport weapons. Those were hit. U.S. Central Command says some 90 different targets were taken out in Iran last night. 80 were hit the night before. Now, Iranian state media reported explosions in southern port cities. Explosions in Bashir, home to that massive nuclear power plant complex. The U.S. says the targets were on the coast. The power plant was not hit. We've got video of explosions in the port city Khabakar. Iranian counterstrikes went into Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain. Kuwait says they shot down 3 ballistic missiles, a cruise missile, and 10 drones. The Kuwaitis also say 1 person was hit by debris. President Trump says the Iranians have been calling.
Dude, we already went over this. They downplay the damage every time. Whatever they say, just don't believe it, man. Iran is hitting all of their targets at this point. Like, we've seen this happen so many times now, where they come out and say, Iran didn't hit anything. It didn't hit anything. Nobody got hurt. It didn't hit anything. And then a month later, the satellite images reveal, oh yeah, Iran hit everything they fucking said they were hitting. I mean, just trust the Iranian sources at this point. Don't listen to the American sources. They are always lying. Whatever they say, assume the opposite.
Him and want to make a deal.
We've already won militarily. They have very little left, and they want to make a deal so badly. They called a little while ago. They want to make a deal so badly. I just don't know if they're worthy of making a deal. I don't know that they're going to honor the deal. That's the problem.
The 6-day funeral for the late Grand Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is now in its final day. Mourners in the casket crossed into Iraq, the holy cities of Najaf and Karbala. They're back.
By the way, I don't even think people understand that, like, there is a significant portion of the Iranian public who thought signing the MOU at all was a mistake, and not a mistake as in like we need to get out of this war completely. They thought it was a mistake in that they wanted to keep firing missiles. They wanted to keep going. They wanted to keep hitting Israel. They wanted to keep hitting all of the bases in the region. They wanted to keep fucking going past the point that America ran out of its missile interceptors, which is what I said to do at the very fucking beginning. And at some point, Iran is going to have to do that because there's no other way out of this. Like, I was thinking like the best strategy would be to like wait for America to run out of missile interceptors. It would have been another 6 weeks of war that they would have had to do. And then after America and Israel ran out of missile interceptors, pummel the shit out of them for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Just nope, we're not coming to the table. America would be begging for a ceasefire over and over again. Just say, nope, we're not done yet. And just keep going for another 2 to 3 weeks, completely decimate everything in fucking Israel, all of these military bases around the region, all of these collaborators in the Gulf states, completely decimate them for 2 to 3 weeks, and then be like, okay, I think we can come to the table now. Because basically you're going to have to do that anyway, it feels like at this point. America is going to keep trying to drag this thing out forever unless you actually go back. And they're every single time, man, every single time they prove the hardliners right. And the people who were out there protesting, there were millions of people who were out protesting against signing the MOU because they didn't think it was a good deal, or they didn't think that they should trust America, right? And every single time America just proves the hardliners right over and over and over again.
Back in Iran today with a burial for Khamenei planned in the town of Mashhad, where he was born, where he received his religious education. Iranian notables, even one general who was marked for death, all made an appearance at this funeral. The no-show is the new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei. His security staff said security concerns were the reason he did not show up, but there's a lot of speculation that he was badly disfigured in this first round of fighting. Sandra, back to you.
Got it. Mike Tobin with the update out of Tel Aviv for us. Mike, thank you.
Sandra, over here on the board, we'll show you what we can here on the maps for what's happened this week. All right, you go back to Monday and Tuesday, July 6th and 7th. There were 3 different ships, 3 different vessels that were passing along this Oman coastline here, okay? And 3 of those were targeted by the Iranians, and that's what helped precipitate the U.S. response. So 2 nights back to back. We'll show you in a moment what they were going after, the U.S. military was. But if you look at this, the U.S. strikes in July 7 and 8. And just looking at this map, this is the entire coastline, Persian Gulf, Strait of Hormuz. All these targets up to the border with Iraq have been now in the sights of the U.S. military. By the way, this is no small coastline. It's about 950 miles long. The comparable geography would be the coastline of California. That's how big of an area we're talking about. The Iranians, in turn, yet again have responded, hitting sites in Qatar. The Navy's 5th Fleet in Bahrain was a target as well. And here in Kuwait, where the U.S. Army has a big installation there, the Kuwaitis are saying last night 3 ballistic missiles they intercepted, 1 cruise missile, and 10.
It's interesting, the choices, right, of where they decided to hit. You got Qatar, Bahrain, and Kuwait. Now, Bahrain and Kuwait have been getting hit this entire time. Qatar is the new mediator, right? So that's interesting that they're getting hit. It might be a signal to Qatar that they're aligning too much with American interests. I don't really know. But you'll notice that they didn't hit Saudi Arabia at all, and they didn't hit the UAE at all. And we've heard talks about some of these countries coming to like kiss the ring of Iran since this started. I'm trying to remember in particular, and I don't want to be wrong, so I don't know for sure if these were the 2 that did it, but I would guess that they're being very strategic about which places they're deciding to hit right now. Iran is, because I'm sure there are plenty of backroom deals that are happening right now between all of the Gulf states and Iran.
Hostile drones from Iran hit overnight over here on the big board here. So from July 7 and July 8, this is what we're looking at in the Persian Gulf and what the U.S. military is trying to control. Swing on over here. Night number 1, 2 nights ago, you had 80 Iranian military targets in their sites. They include coastal radar sites that I just showed you over there.
Oh, my God.
Some of these command and control networks and the anti...
Dude, this is just... Have any of you ever read 1984, where they just like they just release every day the stats of all of the things that they blew up and all of the people that they killed or whatever? Like it comes from like the Ministry of Truth or whatever, like, and everybody just reads in the newspaper how many of the vaguely Eurasian people that were blown up and killed. That's what I feel like I'm watching at this point. Like it's just, they're just listing the propaganda stats given to us from the Ministry of Truth to make everybody, you know, rile everybody up and feel good and feel like we're actually doing anything when we're not doing fucking anything.
Ship missile capabilities. Then last night we had about 90 Iranian military targets, including a bridge in northeastern Iran, but primarily the similar sites here now: air defense systems, coastal surveillance assets, and these naval capabilities. There have been dozens of these small Iranian boats that have been taken out just this week alone. I'm going to bring in Dan Hoffman to join Sandra and me. And sir, good morning to you. Are we back at war?
Yeah, I think we are. Look, when Iran chose to strike those oil tankers transiting the Strait of Hormuz, that was a deliberate provocation. Iran had to have anticipated the United States response. And they did that because a state of war against the United States and against Israel and our Gulf allies, that's oxygen for this hardline IRGC regime in Iran. I think they also want to test the United States by driving up oil prices and disrupting trade, global trade, with an eye towards gaining some leverage in their interaction with the United States.
Dude, come on. I was kind of zoned out at the beginning, so maybe I missed it. But this is just not what's happening. What's happening is America, like what I said at the beginning, America is trying to claw back some form of like victory or some sort of like control over the Strait of Hormuz that they definitively lost through war. That's not possible. War is where you figure out what your real capabilities are. The cessation of war will not change that. Like Iran has already proven that they control the strait. So what America is doing here is they're telling, certain ships to be like, hey, you got to go through this new route that we're doing around Oman so that we can, so that we can try to claw back some control of the strait from Iran, at least this bottom half near Oman's coastline. And so they're trying to do that. And Iran is saying, nah, you're not going to get to do that. We're going to fire on them. And so I don't know. It's just bad analysis, man. But whatever. That's what they're here for.
I don't even know if we'll see negotiations as were planned before these strikes in Islamabad on 11 July. But Iran sees this as an opportunity, especially in advance of the midterms, to gain some leverage.
Dan, this is a post from the Institute of the Study of War late yesterday. Iran's behavior after the latest U.S. strikes indicates that the Iranian regime values control over the strait more than avoiding renewed escalation with the United States. To your point about us needing to keep this...
Yeah, why wouldn't they? Look, from a narrative perspective, Trump gets to spin his, during a ceasefire, Trump and American propagandists like these people that you're watching right here on Fox News get to spin their little narratives of America actually is super powerful and America isn't a paper tiger and America is actually just as capable as you remember in your little head, like you were told by your teacher back in 5th grade. America is the best country in the world and you are a special little snowflake for thinking that. They get to say all that shit during ceasefire because the realities aren't front and fucking center. The truth of the matter is that during the hot war, Iran was even in a better position than they are right now. Iran was keeping up tit for tat and even going past the controlling and dominating the escalation of what they were doing. They were hitting all of their fucking targets constantly. So you get to pretend all this stuff right now, but the moment we go into a hot war again, a complete and full hot war where Iran is, striking at the same capability level that they were before, it will very quickly be shown exactly how little America can do about this. I don't know, man. This is just ridiculous, dude.
Straight open. And continuing to block Iran's oil exports. It seems to me what you're saying is this needs to be a continuous stop of any flow of money to Iran.
It does. We gave Iran an economic enticement by allowing them to export oil at market prices for some time. And Iran made it clear that they were not interested in negotiating in good faith. In fact, as successful as our kinetic strikes have been, we have not induced a change in the regime's behavior. Now, we changed the regime by launching decapitation strikes, and I'm sure that those potentially are on the table again, further decapitation strikes. If these guys don't want to negotiate, maybe the next round of
Oh yeah, that'll work so well. Decapitation strikes have always worked so well. All the history that we have of that in the Middle East, in Israel, in Palestine, in Lebanon, in Hezbollah, in all of these different places where we've done decapitation strikes. Yeah, it'll definitely work this time. Why the fuck didn't it work last time, asshole? Ask yourself that question. Why the fuck didn't it work last time? Why do you think it's going to work this time? It's the definition of insanity, man. I know that's not a real quote or whatever. I think it's attributed to Einstein, but it's yeah, you're doing the same fucking thing over and over again and expecting something different to happen. It's fucking stupid.
Leaders will. But I think that's at the heart of it, Sandra, that we need to ensure that the Strait of Hormuz is open, that we're doing that independently, while simultaneously blockading Iran from exporting oil.
You can't do it. There's nothing you can do. You already tried. You already fucking tried. What are you doing? What are you saying? Why didn't you do it last time? What's going on? This is stupid.
Okay, let's take it a step deeper. Wall Street Journal editorial board. Trump tells the truth about Iran. He's right that Iran's regime has been wasting his time. It's the best in the world at that. 20 days in the memorandum of understanding, 60-day negotiation period, nuclear talks have hardly begun. Dan, we saw a different side of this president when he was...
I can't. I'm done. That's Fox News, everybody. Your Orwellian Ministry of Truth, okay? Go, enjoy it. Eat your slop, everybody. Boomers everywhere. Eat your fucking slop. Keep eating it. Okay, what do we got? I got some more X.com posts about Iran that I'm going to go over now. This is from Dropside. It says, oil tanker traffic through the Strait of Hormuz has slowed to a near standstill after renewed U.S. strikes on Iran triggered Iranian retaliation across the Gulf. Reuters reports only 2 tankers transited the waterway early Thursday, while some ships have switched off public tracking systems and insurers are advising companies to pause voyages. Yeah, aka we're just closing it again. And look, this is what I think is gonna fucking be like... Is this what a new forever war looks like? I don't know. This is kind of what it feels like, is that this is our new forever war. Where we are going to, like, we are going to force Iran to close off the Strait of Hormuz until our petroleum reserves get so unbearably low that it ends up being like, okay, the economy is going to collapse in 2 weeks if we don't like open it back up or whatever. And then we say, okay, hey, flip, that was just a joke, man. It was just a prank. What are you talking about? Let's get back to the MOU. And then we're going to go into this like fake farcical peace process. And then we're going to, stay on that. Let maybe like 20, 30 ships get out, get a bunch of oil at least out onto the open seas so that they can slowly make their way to try to stop the bleeding or whatever. And then we just get back into a hot war again. Like, it just feels like this is what a forever war looks like at this point. And so I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. I just don't know. Like, Iran is going to have to close the Strait of Hormuz again. And essentially it has. 2 tankers transited yesterday. It's closed, okay? It's closed until further notice. Iran has closed it. God, man. Iran's health ministry says U.S. airstrikes in the past 2 days have killed at least 14 people and wounded 78. Iran struck back early this morning. The Iranian army said its drones targeted a Patriot missile battery in Kuwait, an early warning satellite antenna site in Qatar, fuel storage for the U.S. military in Bahrain. The IRGC said it separately targeted key infrastructure at Kuwait's Arif Jan and Ali Al Salam bases, in Bahrain at Sheikh Isa Air Base and Jafar, home of the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet, the command running the Hormuz operations. Yeah, I mean, just assume, like I said before, just assume that they hit everything at this point. That's what was shown from the satellite images after this last, the last hot conflict, is that everything Iran said that they were hitting, they were fucking hitting. Their success rate was like getting ungodly high at the end. I think like, I don't know, his like 70, 80% or something, Just assume that they're hitting everything. Let's see what these videos are. You can see some smoke coming up in the background. It's kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can pull this into a separate tab. I guess it's a little bit bigger. Let's see what this one is. Oh, was that it? Or, no, I don't know. I saw some smoke. That one's hard to see too. What's this one? Oh, there's an explosion. Okay, well, we saw one hit there, but they've also been like since the initial strikes, they have been really locking down social media in a lot of these places to make sure that none of these videos make it to the airwaves. So, okay. This is from Iran Observer. I've been trusting this account a lot on X for breaking news related to Iran. They were right on a lot of these things that were happening. So, breaking: Iran has deployed hundreds of special forces near Iraqi Kurdistan. Ground operations in that area could be imminent. This is the only thing we haven't tried yet, man, is a ground invasion. I'm guessing maybe like arming Kurdish militias. I know they tried to do that, and the Kurds said no last time. I don't know if they gave them more incentive or something this time, or if America is just going to send their own homegrown terrorists to go try to take over Iran from Iraqi Kurdistan. So we'll see. I'm still not sure if Trump wants to face the political consequences of having a bunch of our homegrown corn-fed guys getting blown to smithereens over in Iran. So we'll see. Breaking: Iran's Parliamentary National Security Commission on clashes with the U.S. We have many options that we did not use even in the 40-day war. Options such as withdrawing from the nuclear proliferation treaty, changing the nuclear doctrine, and closing the Bab el-Mandeb Strait next to the Strait of Hormuz will be considered. Yeah, they never even played this card, by the way, of closing the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, which would be like another, I think, 15% or something of global energy that would be choked off. Also, Saudi Arabia has lots of pipelines going over to the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. They could hit some of those pipelines. It'd be very easy to stop Saudi Arabia from shipping traffic through the Bab el-Mandeb Strait if they wanted to. They just haven't played that card yet. So there you go. That's what I got for Iran.